Hello everyone, I am Ricky D. Priest for Willow Photography, located just outside of Paris, Tennessee. And you can see our pictures on Willow Photography at zenfolio.com. You can follow us on Willow Photography on Facebook, and you can contact us on willowpondphotos@gmail.com. Today we would like to show you how we edited a waterfall picture that little technical difficulty there, but this waterfall picture on Natchez Trace Parkway that we took last weekend, and it absolutely looked nothing like this when we were there taking the picture. We had the ice and the waterfall coming down and the landscape in the winter, but if you notice at the top, the sky is just completely blown out. And while we were there, it was blue. So we brought the two layers in from Bridge, and here's what we started to do. The very first thing that we want to do is to come in and highlight the layers. Both of them selected, and then we're going to let Photoshop auto align. And we'll use the auto section here, have that selected, and we'll just hit OK. And we shot these on a tripod, so they should be pretty close. And so the first layer with the sky is blue, so we've taken this picture with the exposure set for the sky. But see what it did to everything else. It's just super dark. And then with the top layer, we've somewhat got the exposure right. We do have a few hot spots on the ice and some even in the water, but the sky is just completely gone. So we need to bring the sky back in, and by having these in Photoshop in layers, we'll be able to do that. Very first thing we want to do is we'll click on this top layer, and we're going to, there we go, we'll put a white layer there, adjustment layer, and painting with black, because the black that we paint on the white layer is going to actually reveal what's underneath it. So remember that. Black will help you to reveal what's underneath it. And I'm just going to zoom in on this somewhat. I've got an opacity of 8. We'll just take that all the way up to 100, because we want to just drop this top layer completely out and as fast as possible. So we'll just work that in, coming across here. And again, because I want to take all the time up with in the video to get the sky in, just basically to show you how we did it. I'm just going to do it fairly fast. Obviously, if we were editing this picture for the first time, we would really zoom in where the sky and the landscape actually intersect, and we would get that really good and not have any overlap such as we do now. But even with the overlap, and you'll see shortly that it's not going to be a bad thing with this photo. And sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Depends on what we're going to do. So now we've got the blue sky back in, so a lot better picture already. But it still just doesn't jump out. It's just a waterfall coming down. The water's still blown out. The ice is blown out. And we don't have a great contrast between this outcrop and the sides on each side. So we're going to paint those. Let's take the opacity down. We'll go to about 40% to start with. And let's paint those and tone that down somewhat, so that, and this bottom one is really hot, so we want to tone that down. We do not want our eyes focusing in on this. And we could possibly crop it, but if we cropped it, we lose either the hillside or we're going to lose some of the icicles. So a lot of times you'll find that if you can fix something, you get to keep more of the image that is actually necessary. So we want to pull that out right there, and that's, I love the ledge because it gives you that somewhat of a, makes a picture into more of a 3D effect. So we're going to change our brush size slightly here, so hold the alternate key down, right click, move to the left, and you're good to go. So again, going with the direction as the land falls, I'm just going to start up here and pull down. And as I'm pulling down, you see I'm taking those highlights out and getting the contrast that we want between the waterfall and the land itself. It's looking good. We'll pull this down a little bit, just a little more right in here. Okay, so basically I've created a line that your eye is going to follow up this waterfall bank to the sky. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. Move him over, we'll come right down with this line. And we'll do it a couple times because we really want that line to jump, at least in that area. Pull that down. Again, we'll darken up those edges just a little bit more. We'll take the opacity on down just slightly more and cover that so it somewhat blends. And again over here. Now, see how the waterfall, the outcrop is even jumped even more so. So still have some issues with the picture. One is this ice is really hot right here, and it's hot in this area, but we're still overexposed somewhat on the rocks. So we'll just start at the bottom and come up. So we'll work on this. Let's take this down. 11% should be good. We just want to calm this hot spot down. There we go. Now come all the way down here. Get that effect. That's a lot better. Okay. Now, as we come up again, you see the exposure is slightly high on this. So we're going to take that back to the 15%. And let's just pull this in. Each of these. Tell you, I'm going to go ahead and drop that brush size slightly. So I'm going to really work the edges of each of these outcrops so I get that contrast there. And here's a line. So I want to really make the lines pop so we get the maximum contrast. And it's also pointing your eyes to the center. There. Touch that up slightly. Okay, it's looking a lot better. So we'll start at the top and we're going to pull that in. Again, we'll work the outcrops heavy because every time we come back and go over the lines, it's just going to take it just slightly darker. And so that's why I like working with a low opacity, and then we can come back in and actually tone this down as we need to. And then come back and catch the lines. You may catch them 2 or 3 times to really get that effect that we're going after. We want our eye to hit the center of the picture and to travel up. And anything that's on the side that's going to pull our eye to, we want to just simplify that picture by making sure that our eye doesn't get pulled over to the side. Put some contrast down here, and we'll even put just a slight bit on the edge of that. Tone that down. That definitely makes for a great addition to the photo, but it's not the main subject. So we want to highlight the subject, and that subject being the waterfall. So now okay, that looks a lot better. And so just to review what we did, we started out with a picture with exposed to the sky. We took another picture that was exposed for everything else, and then we just highlighted that picture and brought out the sky in the other. Hope this has helped. Thank you very much. Ricky D. Priest for Willow Pond Photography. Thank you.